So, like I said, style of writing, according to this slide, says it depends heavily on the purpose and the intention of the piece. Okay. So, when we are commenting on a writer's style of writing, we are looking at what we think their intention was in writing what they did, and we are looking at the purpose of the piece. So, was the article supposed to be, were they trying to be informative? Were they trying to be argumentative? Were they trying to just engage you in a conversation? Were they trying to provoke your emotions? Those are all relevant things. When you are asked to comment on the style of writing, those are the things that you're going to look at. Okay. Please write down the stuff that I just said. So I could be, if I'm writing a piece, I could be trying to inform you. Okay. That means I'm going to formulate my words in a certain way and I'm going to put certain things in my piece of writing if I'm trying to inform you. If I'm trying to, I could try to evoke your emotions. I'm trying to make you feel sorry for me or feel sorry about whoever I'm writing about or whatever the subject is that I'm writing about. Then that is emotive because that uses a lot of emotive language. I can be aggressive, in which case I could write about how the alcohol ban is a terrible idea, and I could be very argumentative in that and aggressive. So when a piece is quite aggressive, then it's usually it uses it uses an argumentative style of writing. Now we're going to look at 5 commonly used styles of writing. It's not all of them, it's just the ones that are most commonly used. And it's also just to help you think about when you're asked to comment on someone's style of writing so you know what to say and you know what to look for. Okay. Okay. So the first one is the narrative writing. You know that when you're writing a narrative essay, the purpose and the intention of a narrative essay is to tell a story. Okay. So a narrative style of writing is where there might be characters in your piece of writing. There might be a plot. So this happened and then this happened and then this happened. That's a narrative style of writing. Or there is a certain event or there is a certain setting, a very specific setting. This implies that the specific style of writing in this piece of writing is narrative because it tells a story. So when you are asked to comment on a piece of writing and you see that someone's going, yeah, so I went on a date with this guy and I put on my best clothes and then he showed up late. Already, that style of writing is narrative because I'm telling you a story. Does that make sense? Okay. I gave an So it would depend. It would depend on the actual piece that you are dealing with. So yeah. So that would depend on the piece, right? So a piece would either have like a narrative writing piece would either have a story, a chain of events, or it would have characters. So you'd be like, yeah, I really like this boy because he's so nice to me and he does this. You see, I'm referring to a character. There's characters in my in my piece of writing. So then that makes it narrative essay. But if there's a chain of events, that's also narrative style of writing. If there's a setting where I'm telling you about my holiday to the sea, for example, there's a setting there, then that makes it a narrative writing. So you would have to find the evidence in the piece of writing that would support the fact that this is a narrative piece of writing. Does that answer your question? Sorry, please say your name. Please say Mateo. Okay, so just say in future, if you guys have questions, please just say your name because I'm not on the tab where your names are. So sometimes I would say comment on the writer's style of writing. And then you would say, well, this piece of writing tells a bit of a story. There are characters and there's like a setting. So I would say that it is a narrative style of writing. You always have to give you have to always give your type of style and you have to give the evidence that tells you that. Did I answer your question, Mateo? And sometimes I will say comment on the style of writing, or I will say what is the style of writing that the writer uses. So you must just read the question carefully. And then I would say, what is the style? What is the writer's style of writing? Justify your answer with evidence from the text. That's a very common question that we ask. Okay, so I made up my own example here where I said she walked into the room and every head turned her way. So here I'm telling a story. I told a story here. I'm quite impressed with myself. I made that up. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Analytical writing. Okay, this one's a little bit more complicated, but you do actually use the style of writing as well. Okay, so the analytical style of writing is the ability to look at a statement or an argument or a character or theme and decide whether or not it has merit. So you would use the analytical writing style when you are doing your literature essays, because there you would talk about the character and you would say, yeah. So I gave you the example there. I also made this up. So if you look at this statement here, I said Macbeth understood before he killed Duncan that he would have to keep killing in order to keep his crown, but he went ahead and he committed the crime because of his ambition. So here I'm analyzing why Macbeth did what he did. It's not actually written in the play. And if you remember from the play last year, and I'm trying to use context that you guys may understand. If you remember from the play, you'll remember that some people will argue that it was his ambition that was the result of his demise. And other people will argue, no, it was always fate. It was always going to happen like that. He had no control over it. So when you analyze, it's when you take a stand and you go, okay, I think that um, Macbeth destroyed himself because he was too ambitious. And then you would look at all the evidence why. That's analyzing. That's an analytical writing style. This ability requires first identifying and then dissecting the subject. So you would take whatever subject you are given, and then you would dissect it and break it up, and then you would decide if it's a valid or if it's not valid. So if you're saying that, if I say to you, am I a good teacher? Some of you may say I'm a good teacher, some of you may not, may say that I'm not a good teacher, and you give your reasons and you discuss and whatever. That's analyzing the subject, which is me as a teacher. Okay. Does this make sense? Okay. Okay. Expository. Don't worry. This confused me too when I saw this, but it's actually pretty simple once you look into it. So the expository writing style is the description and the explanation of a particular idea. So I'm a blogger, so I write blogs twice a week, and I write like this all the time. So for example, if you took the idea of self-care, for example, what does it mean to take care of yourself? What are the different ways that I can take care of myself? Um, there I'm explaining or I'm describing a particular idea. That's what it means when I use the expository writing technique. And if you're worried about remembering that name, then all you have to do is just remember that this person is explaining or describing a particular idea. You're done talking, commenting about the person's style of writing. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They are quite similar. They are quite similar. But the cool thing is that this is not a boxed question. So when I ask you this question, I'm not expecting you to pick just one. I'm expecting you to actually analyze the person's writing, actually. I want you to go, well, this person is actually explaining a particular idea, and he's breaking up this idea, and he's kind of discussing it, and he's trying to make us understand it from his point of view. You've commented on the person's writing style. So I'm not expecting you to list the specific writing styles, because the other grade 11 teachers aren't actually gonna explain the writing style like this. I just thought that this was the easiest way to do that. Do you understand? So the fact that they overlap with each other, Mateo, is fine. Because I'm not going to mark you wrong because you said this person is explaining a particular idea. If you're right, you're right. That they are exploring. And you are going to couple that answer up with examples from the extras. Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Persuasive writing. This is pretty so the whole point of persuasive writing is to persuade you. It's to make you do it, but you'll see the next one is argumentative and they are similar. So persuasive, I'm trying to do it in an emotional way. So the example that I came up with here is hurry while stocks last. So here they are creating a panic. Like if I don't go and buy this thing right now, it's going to run out. So I need to go right now. Okay. That's how they persuade you to buy the thing. Okay. So persuasive writing is where I'm trying to change your mind or I'm trying to sway you in a certain way. And one way that I can sway you into a certain way is by evoking your emotions, making you feel sorry for me, or making you angry, or making you feel an emotional way towards a subject, and then you change your mind towards like on my side. Does that make sense? That's persuasive writing. In fact, actually, yes. Now I remember. So Ethan, I know Ethan does public speaking and Katlego does debating. So Ethan, because he does public speaking, correct me if I'm wrong, Ethan. Um, Ethan would use persuasive writing in public speaking. Am I right, Ethan? Ethan, is Ethan here? Ethan, hello. Ethan has left. I made him panic. All right. Katlego, can you Okay, we're going to look at argumentative. I feel like I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I was never really good at debating and I'm not good at the structure of debating. But I imagine this is a style of writing you would use when you are debating. So with the argumentative writing, I would give you facts. I would persuade you, but I would use facts and I would use proof and I would use hard evidence and science and I'd be very clinical. Katlego, am I right? Is that what's necessary when you're doing debating, for example? Right, so I'm not it's not about being emotionally attached to your argument. It's not about going, oh, you're just a poo-poo head and you're just stupid. If you just need to produce facts. You produce facts, you produce stats, you produce this and that and the other, and that's how you persuade people over. It's by giving them the science. Okay, that's argumentative writing. Yes, Ethan? Okay, that's fine, we can go back. So Katlego agrees with me. The style of writing he would need in order to debate is using a very clinical, he would use facts, he would use proof and science to persuade me. He would not use emotions. Whereas Ethan, who's a public speaker, correct me if I'm wrong, Ethan, would use more emotions. He would be much more emotional in the way that he persuades me. So I would come over to his side purely because he's so cute. Or like he's so sincere and he talks so lovingly about his topic. That would win me over. Am I right, Ethan? Okay. I think that's all of them. Okay. How much time do we have left? Okay, we've got 6 minutes. Okay. So I'm gonna stop there today. What I'd like you to do, I don't think it's for homework. Actually, no, let me not give you homework, Sham. Um, Do you want to, in the last 7 minutes, you're going to pick a slide and you're going to, or maybe go back to your slide with the 6-word story, go back to, scroll back up onto those slides. I promise I won't take it down before tomorrow. Scroll back up to your slides and you're going to pick a style because it obviously depends on you. Katlego, because he's a natural debater, may choose, and I'm not saying he has to, he may choose an argumentative style of writing. Pick a style of writing that you think suits you and the way that you write, and I want you to write me a 6-word story if you can. The 6-word story thing is harder than you think, eh? Okay. So you can do it in the next 7 minutes. You can do it for homework. We'll have a look at them tomorrow. And then I'll give you the work that we're actually doing, which is part of the pack that you have. Okay. Is that okay? Okay, let me stop the video.